Welcome everyone who's joining us on Teams today. We appreciate you calling in for this to support us. We're here today obviously for a swearing in and promotion ceremony for Crystal Hill, who's going to be promoted from detective to patrol sergeant, and for Sergeant Robbie Graves, who's being promoted to operations captain. Before we do the swearing in, I was going to just tell everybody a little bit about these two people. First of all, the reason this promotion or these series of promotions are happening is because Captain Mark Dye, after having worked with us for over 25 years, is ready to devote his life to something other than police work. He's going to focus on fishing and probably sending us harassing text messages from here on out. I think he's down to like his last week and a half of work. But in the last 25 years, I wanted to briefly explain some of the things that Mark Dye has done. He started off here in 1994, working as an officer. He worked as a police officer for Oregon City before that, and also as a reserve. After several years of police work, he joined an interagency drug team with Clackamas County, where he served for several years before rotating back to Milwaukee PD. He then went on to work in our General Assignment Detectives unit for several years, I think 3 years, and then ultimately promoted to patrol sergeant. And from patrol sergeant, Mark Dye went on to the detective sergeant position, where he supervised a team of detectives doing general assignment detective work. And there was one point in there when I also worked for him in that capacity. After those positions, Mark went on to work both as administrative captain and as our operations captain. And Mark's been really dedicating his professional life to the city of Milwaukee and to police work for over the past 25 years. And we can't thank him enough for all that he's done for the city and for our agency. We're super happy for him and the fact that he's at that point when he can transition into retirement. And that's an exciting time for him, kind of an interesting time to be doing it. And obviously because of COVID, it makes for events like this, retirements and promotions, a little bit different. Where ordinarily we would be doing much bigger events, and we have just a handful of people here today to celebrate these, and we appreciate you folks calling in for them. So Detective Crystal Hill, she's been with our department now, let's see, for about 12 years? Yeah, 12 years. She was a reserve with us starting in about 2007, and we hired her full-time in 2008. She also worked briefly for City Hall and courts before we hired her. She has a bachelor's degree in business management. She's also currently our police union president. As you folks can imagine, that's a challenging position because she has to represent the interests and needs of all of our police employees, and at the same time try and manage a positive relationship with management and with City Hall and HR, and that could be a very challenging and demanding position. Crystal's known for doing it really well. She has for the past 4 years worked in our detectives division as a general assignment detective, which means she works a little bit of anything that comes in. There could be long hours in there, late night call outs, and complicated situations, and they take the lead on some really challenging cases. And she's been doing that day in and day out, 7 days a week for the past 4 years, and done a fantastic job. She's developed a great reputation within our department, as well as within the surrounding law enforcement community and with the Clackamas County District Attorney's Office. She's also a member of our peer support team, helping officers deal with some of the effects of critical incidents and the challenging things that we deal with in general. She's really well known for being a hardworking, tenacious, very thoughtful person, and also a pretty tough person on the street as a police officer. She's been balancing her career and family. Her husband is also in law enforcement with the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, and they have 2 children. It's obviously very important both for her and for us that she's the first female police patrol supervisor that we've had in the history of the department. That puts some extra challenge on her, and we've chosen her because we know that she's the perfect person for that job. I should explain that because we're doing this off of a Surface and figuring out our technology options as we go, that we know we have some difficulties with sound, so turn your volume up as much as you can, and we're trying to maximize the amount of space that we can get in here. So that's a little bit about Crystal's history. The other person we're promoting today is Sergeant Robbie Graves. Robbie Graves, prior to getting into law enforcement, was a security specialist in the United States Air Force. Prior to coming to work for the Milwaukee Police, he worked for the Toledo Police Department for 3 years, started in 1998. We hired Robbie in 2000, and he's been here for the past basically 20 years. Robbie is also one of our past union presidents, and also had the same reputation for being able to balance the interests of our sworn police officers and manage those relationships with management and City Hall, which is no small challenge. Over the past 23 years, Robbie's also been a school resource officer. He's been a member of an interagency SWAT team. He's one of our emergency vehicle operators and one of our lead firearms instructors. He's also a graduate of the FBI's National Academy in 2007 and a graduate of Portland State's Mid-Management Program in 2005. Robbie's known for being very smart, thoughtful. He's a great program manager and has handled several programs and new programs that we've developed over the past 5 or 10 years. And he's very well respected within the law enforcement community around us and within our agency. So I'm going to step out of the camera here, and I'm going to invite Robbie Graves and Crystal Hill up here. In our agency, we have our officers, when they're hired or sworn in, swear to 2 separate oaths. This first oath that we're going to swear to is the Milwaukee Police Department Oath of Office. Please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Robbie Graves,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon, the laws and ordinances of the city of Milwaukee, and the rules and regulations of the Milwaukee Police Department, and that I will perform the duties of the office to which I have been appointed in and for the city of Milwaukee, according to law and to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you. That was the longer one. The second one that we're going to do is the Law Enforcement Oath of Honor. Please raise your right hand. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution, my community, and the agency I serve. Thank you and congratulations. Crystal is joined here today by her husband, Danny Hill, and Danny is going to help her out by pinning on her new badge. And Captain Robbie Graves' wife was respecting social distancing and fighting with a little bit of sickness today and chose to make the wise and smart move and stay at home. Congratulations, Captain Graves.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate that.
These positions are obviously and truly critical to our department, the positions of patrol sergeant and captain. They make a critical difference in how the agency runs, the morale of our people, and our relationship with our community and with the rest of the city. I'm super happy and proud for you guys. You're the perfect fit for these jobs, and I know you're going to do an excellent job for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything either of you want to say?
I just want to, I'd like to say something. I'd like to thank the folks that weren't here today. I'm heartbroken that I wasn't able to have my family. My mom would be, is one of the ones in particular, and my siblings, to thank our friend Gia, who helps us out, and my kids who aren't here. I couldn't do this without the help of all the folks in this agency. Chief Straight, thank you so much for allowing me to do this, and Chief Bartol, former Chief Bartol, for constantly pushing me to do so. In addition, my team I work with, I'm going to miss them dearly, and I'm so blessed to work for such a great agency. And just to make it quick, last but not least, I could not thank the most my lovely husband, Danny Hill, for all the support and pushing me to be a better person and police officer, really. So I'm really excited for this opportunity. I look forward to serving my city, my community, and making everybody proud. And watch out, Milwaukee, here I come.
Captain Graves.
Congratulations, Sergeant Hill. Chief, thanks for this opportunity. I want you to know I'll give it 110%. I'd like to thank everybody that I've worked with over the years to help me get to where I am. Obviously, this is going to be a team effort. For anybody watching with the city of Milwaukee, obviously this is a trying time with the COVID-19 going on. I think the biggest frustration is normally when we have a crisis, there's an obvious enemy, somebody we can see. This is a micro contagion. We can't see it, so we're gonna have to weather the storm. So I just encourage everybody to continue to weather in place, maintain your social distance. Don't let complacency or temptation draw you out right now, and we'll get through this. Thank you very much.
All right, with that, we just want to thank everyone for calling in to support us. We appreciate the calls and the support, and we look forward to you reaching out to both Robbie and Crystal individually on email or text, or the next time you see them, congratulating them. Thank you. Have a good afternoon and a great weekend.